to welcome President Obama to the state. That I have always thought of as the gateway to America. New Jersey is like no other place in the world. We are the most diverse, densely populated state in the nation. And despite that, or maybe because of it, we care about each other and our kids. We have each other's backs. And from the earliest days, we have never shied away from a tough fight. We are waging a battle at this very moment for the future of our nation. And New Jersey has always answered the call to defend this country and our values. We were the arsenal of democracy in World War I. And then when soldiers came home from World War II and demanded more, we passed the nation's very first state civil rights law in 1945. And guess what, New Jersey? It passed unanimously. So we built this nation in the Industrial Revolution, and we have not stopped innovating since. And at this moment, in these difficult times, when everything seems to come down to our election, when people across the nation look at me with fear and despair in their eyes when they ask me, is New Jersey up for this moment? You guys just stole my line. My answer was, hell yeah! I mean, there are a lot of things people say about us. Do you guys know this? You know, I go down to Washington, I'm on Capitol Hill with people from all over the country, and they say things like, we're loud. My roommate down in Congress gave me a t-shirt. I love you back. I love you back. She gave me a t-shirt that said, I'm not yelling at you, I'm from New Jersey. They say we don't have patience. Okay, I'm gonna take that hit because in this town, I have actually been honked at a red light because people thought it was about to turn green. They make fun of us because we don't pump our own gas. Guys, they hate us because they ain't us. But I will tell you something. No one has ever said that we aren't brave or that we shrink from a challenge. And we have never, ever backed down when it comes to making a better future for our families and our kids. And I've got 4 kids. And you know what? Our kids have been through a lot. We've seen some of their milestones robbed by the pandemic. And now they're facing an onslaught of social media that can further isolate them. So I'm going to pass the Kids Online Safety Agenda because as Trump tries to steal opportunity, success, and a great future from our kids, all I can say is, not on my watch, New Jersey. So as we arrive here today, just days away from an election that will define the very future of this great nation, I've been asked again and again, what is this about? What does this race boil down to? Everything. And after hearing from thousands and thousands of New Jerseyans, I can tell you it comes down to opportunity. Who has a seat at the table? And in New Jersey, we believe it doesn't matter who your parents are, it doesn't matter where you were born, you should get a shot. And so in this election, we are deciding, do we continue to expand access to opportunity? Do we make sure every kid gets a good education? That workers make a good wage? That our economy provides good jobs? Then you can work at one job and make a living for your family and then retire? New Jersey, I don't just want you to have a job, I want you to have a retirement. And so what I hear about from families all over this state reminds me of my own background. My grandfather's family lost everything in the Great Depression. After the war, he got a good union job with the UAW. That job lifted my mom's family out of poverty squarely into the middle class. And then there was my dad, orphaned by the time he was 13. But he was able to work hard and put himself through college, and he wasn't saddled with debt for 30 years. And then me. You know, when I told my dad, hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. I love you too, Mom. When I told my dad in the 5th grade I wanted to fly in the Navy like my grandfather, he told me he didn't know if the Naval Academy took women. And he didn't know if women could fly in the Navy. But I knew I could do it. I knew. I didn't think I could. I didn't hope I could. I knew I could. Because everything I had learned about this country, from my parents to my teachers to Schoolhouse Rock on Saturday morning cartoons, told me that in this country, we were opening up opportunity to everyone. And we were. We passed the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, decided Roe versus Wade. And so I attended the Naval Academy, and I graduated with the first class of women eligible for combat on ships and aircraft. And you heard from Dr. Dale Caldwell and how his dad marched with Dr. Martin Luther King and fought for civil rights to give all of our kids better opportunities. You heard how his dad's example led Dale to work in education to continue that promise of opportunity, and how hard he works for his daughter. And at every level, in every generation, this country has offered opportunities that could not have been found anywhere else in the world. And I'm looking out at thousands of you. Sure, every single person here has a similar story. Whether it was someone in your family who got an opportunity, or an opportunity that wasn't available to your parents but was to you. And that promise of opportunity is so iconic that it is known the world over as the American dream. And as President Obama himself said, the American dream, that's right. The American dream isn't the promise of a perfect life, But at its best, it's the promise that you get a real and honest shot to get ahead. So when people ask me, Mikie, why are you running for governor? That's why. I want you to be able to afford to live in New Jersey and build something. I want all your kids to have great opportunities. I want to make sure everyone here has a shot in this state. So I'm fighting. I'm fighting for Chuck, a small business owner in Gloucester, getting crushed by tariffs. I'm fighting for Karina, a single mom here in Newark, who isn't sure if she can afford to stay and raise her son in New Jersey. I'm fighting for Bob, a lot of us. I'm fighting for Bob, a veteran, and Kate May, who's worried about his data privacy. I'm fighting for Regina in Trenton, who lost her son Trayvon to gun violence. And I'm fighting for Sequoia in Jersey City, who pays 70% of her income in rent and can't get ahead. That's why I'm going to work every day as your governor to make sure you can afford to stay right here in New Jersey. So here's what I'll do. On day one, I'm declaring a state of emergency on utility hikes. I'll freeze those rate hikes to lower your family's bills. New Jersey, I am not playing. I am not writing a strongly worded letter. I am not starting up a working group. I'm not doing a 10-year study. I am declaring a state of emergency. But it's not just utility cost. I also hear all across the state from New Jerseyans who tell me they can't afford to live and anywhere to live and about skyrocketing rental prices. I'm taking on those landlords who are colluding to drive up your rents, and I'll expand first-time homebuyer assistance to get you in that first home. Get your foot in the door so you can have a shot. And I hear from too many families every year, Mikie, you know I'm making choices. How much can I buy at the grocery store versus whether or not I can afford my prescriptions? So I'm taking on those pharmaceutical middlemen who are driving up your prescription drug costs. So as governor, I'm going to create real change so you can afford to stay here in this state, but my fight doesn't and can't end at the border of New Jersey. We've got to take on all those hits coming from Trump and Washington, D.C. Because right now, the president is running a worldwide extortion racket. You pay more for everything from the coffee you drink in the morning to the groceries you're cooking dinner with at night as Trump pockets billions. His energy plan is designed for just one audience, the fossil fuel industry. They donated hundreds of millions to his campaign, and they're now getting rich off the higher utility prices that New Jersey families are being forced to pay because of the one big, beautiful betrayal. Under Trump, the deficit has got up $1 trillion in 2 months. And we can't feed hungry kids in the richest nation on earth. We can't feed hungry children. Not on my watch. So if he's not going to fund these programs, and make no mistake, in New Jersey, we send $70 billion more to Washington than we get back. We're going to claw that money back and do it ourselves. And then there's the Gateway Tunnel. Has anybody heard of that? So I was called the tunnel-obsessed congresswoman when I first got into Congress because I worked so hard to get that project funded. I was told it would never get done. but we got that federal funding, and then we went farther and got more funding across the state for our transit programs. And Donald Trump, because he's pissed off that everybody's rightly blaming him for the government shutdown, has frozen the Gateway Tunnel. I mention all this because whether it's Medicaid, the one big beautiful betrayal, or the Gateway Tunnel, guess what? Jack Ciattarelli is nowhere to be found. And when he is forced to talk about it, does he defend New Jersey? Does he commit to clawing that money back for New Jersey? Does he say, hey, I'm serving you no matter what the cost? No. On every single occasion, Jack has decided, I'm going to defend Trump. He even gives Trump an A. Guess what, guys? I give Trump an F. I'm committed to fighting anyone when it comes to fighting for the people of New Jersey. So there were two people who really embodied this fight, Donald Payne Jr. and Bill Pascrell. They passed away not too long ago. I served with both of them. And at Bill's funeral, the priest reminded us that hope has two beautiful daughters, anger and courage. Anger at the way things are, and the courage to fight for change. And I'm angry. I'm angry at the way things are. I'm angry that our president is cutting everything from the Gateway Tunnel funds to SNAP benefits, erasing funds for programs to help third graders read, address learning loss, or get support for families as we are facing a mental health crisis with our kids. So I'm angry, but I don't feel afraid. As I stand here, I feel nothing but courage. New Jerseyans give me courage, and I'm sure the nation feels that way too. Courage to make change, to take on special interests, the status quo, the systems that aren't working, to deliver for people, for families, to give every kid a shot. So, anger and courage are the daughters of hope. And I know someone here tonight who knows a little bit about hope. He knows hope is not passive, blind optimism, but an active, stubborn belief that a better future is possible if we work hard and fight for it. So, New Jersey, are you ready to work? Are you ready to fight hard for our future? Are you ready to make sure that every single one of your neighbors, your friends, your frenemies head to the polls between now and Tuesday? That's what I thought. Nope, that's what I knew. Because I know the fight that defines our state. And New Jersey, I'm ready too.